Well, good morning, everybody. It's 10 o'clock. We'll go ahead and get started here with today's edition of our long coffee break. Today, we are joined by Jewel Coughlin from Daikin Applied. She will be speaking to us about Vision Skyline units, the Daikin Applied Vision and Skyline units, some updates that they've done to the selection software that's now available. So from there, I will hand it off to her. Thank you, Jewel, for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you, Louise, for the introduction. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all for taking the time out of your busy schedule this morning to join today. I'm going to walk through some of the major updates that we've included in our most recent Daikin Tools software release. Just a small introduction. My name is Jewel Coughlin. I am currently working as a Vision and Skyline applications engineer, and I've been doing so for just over a year now. My role is to support our reps with anything related to Vision, including selections, questions, and just general project guidance. I've been working with the Long Office for about 6 months, and I can confidently say that you guys are in good hands. They're a great group of engineers. So this is just our standard disclaimer slide. I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but I do have to include it. So just a small tidbit. These are just our recommendations, but final system design responsibility remains with the engineer of record. So today I'll start with a quick refresher on Vision units. I know many of you are probably familiar with the product line, but a brief overview will help me set the stage to talk about some of our new updates. And then I'll walk through the 3 major additions included in our most recent software update. This is one of the largest updates that we've had in quite some time, and it focuses heavily on some new fan features that we're really excited to introduce. So let's get started. Vision and Skyline make up our semi-custom air handling line. Vision is our indoor model and Skyline is our outdoor model. The fully modular design allows you to pick and place components that meet a wide range of application requirements. So we offer multiple configurations, horizontal, stacked, side-by-side, and now vertical EC configurations. With our modular design, these configurations can be sized and split to fit in the space that you require, whether that be a new design or a retrofit application. Vision is available in up to 80,000 CFM, where Skyline's available up to 50,000 CFM. And those CFM values are calculated based on the cabinet size limitations and 500 feet per minute face velocity on your coil size. So now let's get into some new features. So the first major feature that we're introducing is infinitum EC fan arrays. So these are an EC type offering similar to our Daikin EC fans, but with a new motor technology. We are taking the infinitum printed circuit board motors, purchasing them, and then combining them with our Twin City fan wheels. These fan wheels are the same fan wheels that we use in our direct drive plenum fans. So you get a proven, reliable wheel design with a new, highly serviceable motor. These fan selections have the same control options as our Daikin EC fans, so no controls, basic and premium. And the infinitum technology has been utilized in the data center market for a while now, and they're now transitioning kind of into the standard AHU market as well. Some of the key advantages of these motors. Firstly, utilizing the high static capabilities of the Twin Cities fan wheels is a huge advantage. With standard Daikin EC fans, we purchase those fans as a full motor and fan assembly, and because of that, we aren't able to change out the fan wheels. But with the infinitum motors, we can utilize the Twin Cities fan wheel, which will allow for higher static applications. And this is a great option that's more affordable than what we've been able to previously offer for high static applications. So that's really great. And then secondly, custom nameplating is a huge advantage. I have a whole slide detailing this later on, so I'll get into the details of that on that slide. And then lastly, the modular design makes these motors really easily serviceable so that you can outlast your standard EC fan lifespan. This slide gives kind of a detailed overview of how the printed circuit board motors operate. At the center of the motor is a printed circuit board stator. On each side of that stator is a rotor with permanent magnets. So how this functions, the printed circuit board stator is energized by a VFD to create a magnetic field, and then that magnetic field spins the rotors and the shafts attached to them. So this design eliminates the traditional copper windings in a EC fan and allows for a more efficient and more serviceable motor. And then this shows kind of an exploded view of what the infinitum motor looks like. On the front end of the motor, you can see the VFD assembly. The VFDs are the most common failure point in traditional EC fans as well as infinitum fans. But on a traditional EC fan, the VFD is integral to the fan assembly. So if the VFD fails, you have to replace the whole fan. But with infinitum, the VFD can be easily removed and replaced simply by unscrewing 8 bolts and reattaching a new VFD module. And because the VFD is so easily serviceable, the bearing life becomes the primary limiting factor, and the motors have a 40,000 hour bearing life. So we're expecting to see that these motors can outlast a standard EC motor due to their serviceability. This slide gives a good overview of the available motor sizes from infinitum. You can see that the available motor sizes are 5 horsepower, 7.5, 10, and 15 horsepower. The motor that you receive for your fan will have one of these nominal horsepower values to start, but our factory will program the motor to have the maximum horsepower within that given range based on your performance point. And then currently we only offer these motors in 460 and 575 volt, but a 230 volt option is in development by Infinitum, and we will be planning to release this in Daikin's tools once it's made available to us. Okay, so as promised about the right size or custom name plating, one of the biggest advantages of the motor is the ability to do this. So as an example, if you select a nominal 10 horsepower motor, but your operating point only requires 5.9 horsepower, we can then program the motor at the factory to limit its maximum horsepower to 5.9 plus whatever your selected safety factor is. So we have provided some nominal safety factors of 1.1, 1.15, and 1.25 that you'll be able to select in the fan selection. And then that 10 horsepower motor that was previously required 12 FLA will now be right sized to a 5.9 horsepower motor with a nearly 4 amp reduction in the FLA. So this reduction would then get multiplied across the entire fan array depending on the number of fans that you have in your selection. And this lower FLA value will allow you to reduce the cost of your overall electrical infrastructure and/or increase the capacity for other equipment. And that's a major benefit compared to our standard EC fans. All right, moving on from infinitum, the next big feature that we've added are the vertical EC fan configurations. So this is a feature that's been in high demand for a while now, so we're really excited to be able to release it. Many of our reps have been using an external modifier to achieve this same arrangement, but now it's fully supported by Daikin tools. The vertical EC fan arrangement allows you to place a vertical EC fan directly above your coil section. This allows you to maximize your cabinet space and fit units into tighter spaces. Currently, the vertical arrangement is only available for supply fans. Return fans with top and bottom inlets are in development and will be released in the future. The vertical fan array will only be available as a single row of fans, but you can have up to 4 fans total. This is applicable for the 355, 450, and 560 Daikin EC fans, and we're currently only offering it on the Daikin ECs and not any infinitum or QPAC fans. The image on this slide gives a really good visual of what the vertical EC arrangement looks like in a vision unit. You'll have two discharge options with this configuration, either a top discharge or a discharge on either end of the unit. Side discharge isn't available. Your control options will be the same as the standard Daikin EC fans. So again, basic, no controls or premium. And because we have to maintain a full access door on the top fan section as well as the bottom coil section for servicing both the fans and the coils, we won't be able to mount the control panel at the factory. So the only option that we have for control panels on this configuration would be a remote mount with field wiring. But overall, this vertical configuration gives you a lower footprint solution when you have available vertical space but limited horizontal space in your project. And then the final major feature that we're excited to announce is our low footprint EC fan array option. Through testing, we were able to confirm that we're able to safely reduce the spacing of our fan arrays by 4 inches from fan plate to fan plate and 2 inches from fan plate to cabinet. So this means that we are able to offer the same size fan array in a smaller overall cabinet size. This option is currently available for Delta fans in 355, 450, and 560 fan sizes. And to give you a specific example of this, we can look at the 355 millimeter wheel. Previously, if you wanted a 2x1 fan array, so 2 fans tall by 1 fan wide, you needed a minimum cabinet height of 60 inches. With the new low footprint design, that same 2x1 fan array can now be selected at 52 inches tall. That's a significant reduction. And this reduction directly translates to a lower unit cost because anytime you reduce your cabinet size, you're going to reduce the cost of the unit. In addition, this also provides more fan options across all of our unit sizes. So one important thing to note is that the low footprint design is only applied when the standard configuration is not available. So it's too large to fit in that cabinet. So you'll only see the low footprint option when the standard array physically won't fit. So that is all I have in terms of presentations. The last thing that I wanted to mention is that I saw that next week's Coffee Talk with Long is going to focus on gas phase filtration. And I wanted to mention briefly that this is something that we've recently released in our Daikin Tools Vision software. So if you have any questions after that session next week about how to configure your gas phase for filtration or how to set it up in a unit, you can reach out to your rep and your rep can loop me in, and I'm happy to help you with any design questions you may have about that. But otherwise, that's all that I have for you guys today. I can open it up to any questions if anybody has anything.
Well, thank you, Jewel. That's some really, really good information. I'm not sure we have the questions opened up for those folks online, but yeah, please reach out to your Long sales engineer with any questions, and we'll be happy to answer them. So,
Awesome.
thank you for joining us today, everybody. And if you could go to the last slide, Jewel. So we'll get to the part that probably everybody's been waiting for, the prizes. So this week we have a $100 Bass Pro gift card, a $100 Best Buy card, or a $100 Papado Seafood Kitchen gift card. So next week, as Jewel mentioned, we'll have Mike Toflius discussing gas phase air filtration technology. See you all next week. Thank you very much for joining us.